Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 6. We are going to present our material about negotiation, which is chapter 7. Okay. The member of the groups, there are Intan Ayu Destiani, Matahari Kartika Purusakara, Shifatul Musyarofa, Asis Sunarsi, Ahmad Faiz Maulana Firmansyah, and me, Indra Leon. All right, I'm going to explain briefly about what is negotiation. Negotiation is a structured process of dialogue and interaction between two or more parties aimed at resolving differences, addressing disputes, or achieving mutually beneficial agreements. It involves the exchange of ideas, proposals, and counter proposals to conceal interests, needs, or objectives. Effective negotiation often requires skills such as communication, problem solving, persuasion, and the ability to find common ground. The process can vary in formality from informal discussions to highly structured proceedings, and it can occur in various contexts, including business, legal matters, personal relationships, and diplomacy. And then the ultimate goal of negotiation is to reach a solution that satisfies the involved parties, either through compromise or consensus. All right. Next is about exchanging roles, speech function. There are four: negotiation, information versus goods and services. And the second, initiating versus responding moves, giving versus demanding, and the last one, vocatives and type questions. First point, negotiating information versus goods and services. It is when negotiate information, we usually ask or give verbal answer. For example, like, how do you know Daniel was involved when negotiating goods or services? Action are expected. For example, like offering tea or giving instruction, like we have to gut and solve. The second one, initiating versus responding move. Explanation is like in any conversation, someone initiates by starting the request or question, and the other person responds. For example, one person asked a question and the other one gives an answer. The third one is giving and versus demanding. It's like making statements or offers. For example, like some tea, further, while demanding means asking question or giving comments. For example, like we have to gut and solve. The last one is vocatives and type question. Vocatives are names or terms used to address someone. For example, like Sunny, and type questions are added to statements to ask confirmation. For example, like, it's nice, isn't it? This helps manage the conversation and encourage responses. In conversation, we negotiate either information through questions or answer, or goods and services through action or overs. People take turns initiating, starting the conversation, and responding, answering, or accepting. We also either give information or services like making overs or demand them, asking questions, or giving comments. Lastly, we use vocatives, names or terms to address someone, and to keep the conversation flowing and encourage responses. All right, here's the next slide.
All right. Continuing from the Leon explanation, I'll now explain speed function and rules from section 7.3 from working with Discourse. This section explores how language enables interpersonal interaction by combining speech functions and mood system. It builds on exchanging roles and prepare us for responding in the next session. Now, the definition of speech functions. Split functions are roles like giving information, asking, or commanding, while mood refers to the grammatical structures, realizing them such as declaratives, interrogatives, and imperative. Together, they shape interpersonal communication. This bridges the broader concept of exchanging roles with specific grammatical choices. This section is important because it shows how language structures communication, helping us understand how we give, ask, or request information effectively. It connects the previous chapter, exchanging roles, by focusing not only on what we do when we communicate, but also on how we do it using specific sentence types like statements, questions, or comments. All right, for the next slide, please. Yeah. The interpersonal metafunction. Interpersonal metafunction focuses on interaction such as speech functions and mood choices. Speech functions can be delivered by giving statements, questions, commands, and offers, while on the other hand, mood choices is a hard demand of declarative, interrogative, and imperative acts. For example, asking, could you help me? Uses interrogative mood to request something. Split function reflects the purpose and mood provides the structure. Now, let's move into the another slide. Yeah. There's only one classification of split function, which is primary. But primary itself divided into four types of split functions. The first one, giving information. Giving information stated by making statement like, is it sunny today? And then the second one, demanding information. Demanding information is a questioning something towards someone. For example, is it sunny? And the third one, giving good or services. Giving good or services have intentionally to offer someone, shall I help you? And the last one, demanding goods or services. Demanding goods or services is for commanding someone, help me. It fulfills specific interpersonal goals. In addition, the interrelation of split function is split functions rely on the mood system for realization. Please, the next slide. Yeah, like what I've said before about the definition of mood, which is grammatical feature and structured split function, there are several types of mood aligned with split functions. The first one, declarative, uses for statement. For example, she's reading. The second one, interrogative, can be used for questions. For example, is he reading? And the last one, imperative, usually used for commands. For example, read the book. Mood in here reflects intention and shapes how responses are expected. The interrelation of mood choices and interaction. Grammatical mood choices shape how speech functions are interpreted and responded to. Please, next slide. Yeah. The last one, mood in the context. Mood variation in discourse. Context influences how moods are selected and interpreted. For instance, polite requests. For an example, to the polite request, could you open the window? Define as interrogative rather than imperative. While on the other hand, close the door shows more superiority towards something that is why it is classified to imperative. Another note for mood in the context, informal interactions often blur strict mood function alignment. Mood can adapt to politeness, culture, or setting, which prepare us for how responses vary in the next section. All right, I think that's all. Thank you for the time and screen.
All right, thank you, Aceh, and we will move to the next presenter.
Alright, thank you, Leon. I will present about responding. Responses play a crucial role as they refer back to a clear intent type or statement. Responses can take various forms, such as complaint, answer that follow the structure of the conversation, whether in full, brief, or simple polarity signal, for example, yes or no. The type of responding differs. Compliant responses adhere fully to the structure of the question or statement, offering direct answer. For example, yes, he lives here. The second, non-compliant responses divide or avoid directly addressing the question. For example, he is not home now. The last one, different responses delay an answer by seeking additional information or context. For example, who asking? It's all, Leon. Thank you.
Let's move to
Okay, next is my part. So it is sequencing moves, exchange structure. Move sequence in dialogue refer to the different ways people interact when exchanging goods, services, or information. There are three types of move sequence in negotiation. The first is direct negotiation, the second is anticipatory moves, and the third is follow-up moves. In the next slide, I will explain it one by one. The first one is direct negotiation. This occurs when a secondary actor or the person receiving the service or information directly requests something from a primary actor or the person providing the service or information. Here is the example. Hendrik, could I have a bottle of your best dry red? The waitress said, yes. So it is a direct conversation. In this scenario, Hendrik initiates the exchange by making a direct request. Next, please. And then the second is anticipatory moves. These moves are initiated by the primary actor before the actual exchange takes place. The primary actor hints at or offers to provide goods or information, which can create an expectation for the secondary actor. Here is the example. The waitress said, wine. Then Hendrik said, could I have a bottle of your best dry red? The waitress said, yes. So in anticipatory moves, there is a delay. Here, the was ordering wine first, which sets the stage for the subsequent dialogue. Next, please. And then the last one is follow-up moves. After an initial exchange, participants may engage in follow-up moves to acknowledge or elaborate on what has been communicated. This adds depth to the interaction and can exchange clarity or politeness. Here is the example. Waitress said, wine. Hendrik, could I have a bottle of your best dry red? The waitress, yes. Hendrik, thank you. The waitress, not a problem. So if in direct, it is no delay. In anticipatory, there is a delay. In follow-up moves, there is a delay and also something that enhance the conversation. So in this case, Hendrik thanks the waitress and she responds with an acknowledgement which completes and enrich their interaction. That's all.
All right, the next one is I will explain about interrupting exchanges. It's about tracking and challenging. In interruptions in conversations serve two main roles, which are tracking. It is to ensure understanding, or it to focuses on clarifying and confirming what was said. And the second is challenging. This is to resist or redirect an exchange. Or we can say to resist or shift the course of the conversation to address discomfort or opposition. Then there is smooth versus interrupted negotiations. In smooth exchange occurs when both interlocutors understand and agree on what is being discussed. An interrupted negotiation arise when there is a need for clarification or tracking and resistance or challenging. Next slide, please. The first one is tracking moves. The purpose of tracking moves is to clarify or confirm the content of the discussion. For example, there is a speaker and listener in a dialogue. We took him to the farm. What farm? A facility outside Cape Town. When the listener asks what farm, that's a tracking move. When the speaker said a facility outside Cape Town, that's the response to the tracking move. The label is TR for the tracking move and RTR for response to track. And the method of tracking moves, the first one is repetition, is to asking the speaker to repeat the information. For example, pardon. And the next one is WH questions. This is for asking specific details. And the next one is echo questions or feedback signals. This is to repeating part of the statement as a questions. Next slide, please. And then challenging moves. The purpose of challenging moves is to resist or challenge the direction or implication of the exchange. The example, there is a invitation from a speaker, then there's a response. The invitation is in the dialogue, come for tea. That's the invitation from the speaker. Then the response is, are you sure? Then the reply is, yes, I am. Are you sure is the challenge with the label CH, and respond to the challenge with the label RCH. Yes, I am. The type of challenge, there are three. The first one is disagreement. Disagreement is directly opposing the statement. For example, I didn't pass here for sympathy. And the next one is refusal. Refusal for declining a request or order. For example, call the Ahoy BNB, and the response is, I won't go. And the last one is redirecting the argument. This is to shifting the focus to avoid agreement. Next slide, please. And there is a knowledge and action exchanges. Knowledge exchange is a challenge, question, credibility, or change the focus. For example, there is a conversation between Llewellyn and Luke. Maybe it was you who gave the cops Daniel's name. Are you berserk? That's a knowledge exchange. Then the action exchange is a challenge, often involve refusal or direction of the conversation. For example, Coetzee said, dinner at a hotel. Hendrik replied, hotels aren't for us. I think that's all for me.
All right, thank you, Shifa. And let's move to the next presenter. All right, Faiz, time is yours.
Okay, I would like to explain about negotiation and beyond, analyzing dialogue and exchange structure. Negotiation is more than just making deals. It's about how we use language, tone, and action to engage with others. Negotiation, and there are two main ideas here. First, speech function, like asking question, making statement, or demanding action. And the second is neutralization, which is how we shape this function into the sentence, like like a question, a comment, or statement. Next slide, please. In negotiation, conversation can have different structure. Here are some examples. First one is immediate compliance, where someone act right away, like come here, and the person follow without saying anything. And the second is prospective compliance, where someone promise to act like comforting, and the response is I promise. And this is in below is for another example. Next slide, please. Beyond negotiation, interpersonal dynamics. Negotiation is not just about the words we say, it's also about the tone and emotion we express. For example, sarcasm or humor can exchange the mood of a conversation, like saying, I miss you guys two fuckers. The word fuckers is have mean in sarcasm. And then followed by teasing and lover. And then is challenge and justification. Challenge also play a role of, for example, when someone says no, and another asks why not, and adding reason like because can help avoid or resolve conflict. Uh, the conclusion is negotiation is a mix of language, emotion, and action. Uh, it's working together to create a meaningful in the dialogue. That's all from me. Thank you.
I think that's all from us, Group 6, which talk about Chapter 7, negotiation. And yeah, that's all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.